Welcome back to Applied Algebra. We have two sections left in this chapter, 6-7 formulas and 6-8 where we substitute into those formulas. So this section will be talking about how to manipulate those formulas in case you have several problems that have to be done the same way. It's quicker to manipulate the formula before you plug it in if you're going to have to do it many times. So we're going to go through this process. Think about it as if you were going to do it with numbers because it's the exact same process. So the first formula that's here is A equals BH, and they're asking us to solve for B. So they want B all by its lonesome. The B and the H are sitting next to each other. That means that the A and the B are multiplying. So in order for me to get the B by itself and get the H to get out of there, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplication and I'm going to divide. If I divide on the right, I must divide on the left, and that will get it by itself. So B equals A divided by H. And that's what this section is getting you to do, is isolate a different variable than the one that is currently isolated. On number 2, it's asking us to take the equation V equals S over T and solve it for S. So get S all by its lonesome. Currently the S and the T are dividing, so we think of the opposite of division as multiplication. So I multiply the right-hand side by T to move the T. If I do it on the right, I must do it on the left. So right now we have T times V equals S. S is the one that's isolated, so we are good to go. If it bothers you that the equals, the single letters on the right, you're more than welcome to turn it around. They are equal to each other, the same. Number 3. Now x sub c, c is not its own variable, it's distinguishing this x from maybe another x in this type of formula. So when we're going to do that, isolate that, don't think of that as its own letter, it's part of the x. It wants to take all of this and it wants us to get f by itself. So we have x sub c equals 1 divided by all this stuff. Well, all this stuff is kind of in the way, so let's first get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 2 pi f and c. Now you might be saying, well, why is she moving the f? And I'm doing it just because I don't like the fact that it's in a fraction. 2 pi f and c. So what I now have is 2 pi f c x sub c equals 1. Okay, no fractions. I'm supposed to be getting f by itself. These are all multiplying. So if I want to isolate the f and everything's multiplying, I can just divide by what I don't want. I don't want the 2 there, or the pi there, or the big C, or the x sub c. That'll make each one of these go away. But if I do it on the left, I have to come over here and do it on the right. Now yes, I do get that I put some of that stuff right back where it was. I put the 2, the pi, and the c right back where it was. If that bothers you, you can just move the f in the beginning. We all have different schools of thought. Just showing you an option. For this one, we have A equals P plus PRT. This is a financial equation, and we're trying to get R by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is move anything that I would be adding or subtracting, which is going to be this capital P. I'm going to minus it. So I have A minus P equals capital P times R times T. Now I've gotten rid of the part of it, but I still have to move the capital P and the T that are with the R. These are all multiplying. So to do that, I'm going to divide by capital P and little t. Again, if I do it on the right, I have to do it on the left. So I end up with R equals A minus P over PT. It's okay that we have two of the same variables, it won't matter. Number 5, we have A equals parenthesis A plus B divided by 2 times H. And we're supposed to be isolating for H. Well, we can kind of think of this as one fell swoop. It's all one variable. It is currently being multiplied with the h. So to move it, I'm going to divide by the whole thing. That'll wipe it out. So I'm going to come over here and divide by the whole thing. Now it's going to look a little funny for a minute. So it's a divided by a plus b over 2. Now I don't really need the parentheses. They were just helping me keep it separated from the h. Now this looks funny because it has two fraction bars in it. So what you might want to do is think back to fractions, and we never divide by a fraction, we always multiply by its reciprocal. So I'm going to use that idea, and I'm going to take a and I'm going to multiply it by this bottom flipped over. So that would be times 2 over a plus b. Now a itself doesn't have a bottom, so I can give it a 1. That won't change its value. So now I'm just going to put the tops together and the bottoms together. So h ends up equaling a times 2 is 2a. 1 times a plus b is still a plus b. And this looks much nicer than what we had up here with the a plus b over 2 in the denominator. Okay, the last one we're going to do is f times t, so the f and the t are multiplying, equals m times the parenthesis v2 minus v1, and they want us to get m by itself. Well, m and the parenthesis are multiplying, so I can move the parenthesis just like I did in 5 as one big entity. Since it's multiplying, I'm going to divide. If I divide on the right, I divide on the left. So I get m equals f times t over v sub 2 minus v sub 1. I only have one fraction bar, so it's good to go. If you have any specific questions on any of the rest of the, or any of the assignment or any types of formulas, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Have a good day.